Hello, welcome to my channel WWE Pulse.
When someone that you trust, someone that you thought had your back, someone that was supposed to be on your side turns on you, that's one of the most effective storytelling tools in all of wrestling. And it has been used by countless wrestlers over the years to either make themselves look bad so that another person could look good or to turn a popular face into an effective heel. And it has also just a great way to get yourself a new enemy. Because when a friend turns on a friend, when a partner turns on a partner, you get instant personal rivalries. You don't have to work for those rivalries. You don't have to earn those rivalries. It's immediate, and if done correctly, it can be devastating. One of the most famous examples of this in recent years is obviously the breakup of the Shield. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins turning on each other after Dean Ambrose turned on them both. That led to some amazing matches and rivalries. And to this day, there's still bad blood between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins due to that. But today we are going old school. We are going back to the very beginning. Because believe it or not, this story has been told since the early days of professional wrestling itself, back when it was called catch wrestling. In fact, the first ever WrestleMania, the very first WrestleMania, the first time Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant headlined a major event together. They were on the same team, facing off against King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd, two gigantic monsters. And Andre the Giant turned on Hulk Hogan. Now, it was really a shocking turn because Andre was being portrayed as a heel at the time. He was the bad guy. But it was still a big deal because up until that point, Andre and Hogan were sort of tag partners. They did a lot of stuff together. They fought alongside one another. And even though Andre was a heel, you still got that shock value from seeing someone who you thought was potentially on your side end up betraying you. And it was one of the biggest moments from the very first WrestleMania. In fact, it was so big that 20 years later, it happened again, but in reverse. This time it was Hulk Hogan, who was a heel, and Andre the Giant, who was a face. At the 20th anniversary of WrestleMania, Andre came out, reunited with Hulk Hogan, and then turned on him and gave him the big boots, helping out the NDO in their battle against Hulk Hogan and his son. And again, this was a huge moment because it created an instant enemy for Hulk Hogan. Someone that he could settle the score. And once again, there's the shock value of seeing someone who you thought was on your side actually end up costing you the match. From there, it became one of the most common tropes in all of professional wrestling. I mentioned the Shield earlier. There's been probably 10 different variations of the Shield breaking up over the years, with various combinations of people betraying one another. It's happened in every generation. It's happened in WWE. It's happened in WC. It's happened in AEW. It's happened in Impact. It's happened everywhere. The Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian are two teams who had multiple variations of this. Sometimes it was 1-on-2. Sometimes it was 2-on-1. Sometimes it was both guys on both guys. But either way, it always led to an instant personal rivalry. The best example of this may have come in WWE in the Attitude Era, when the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, were feuding with the Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk. After months of the feud, it came to a head at No Mercy, 98, in a tag team turmoil match where the Load were set to defend their titles against the Outlaws and several other teams. And during the match, The Legion of Doom ended up fighting on the outside. The two of them got into a fight with the Disciples of Apocalypse, while the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were in the ring with and when the Acolytes were about to make the pin, the Legion of Doom came in and broke it up. And then the Road Dogg super kicked Hawk, the Load Brother, who was down on the mat, officially turning on the Legion of Doom. And this was a huge moment because it allowed the New Age Outlaws to win the WWE Tag Team Championships for the second time. But it also made the Acolytes look strong in defeat, and the fact that it was a sudden turn added to the intensity of it. You didn't know it was coming. You couldn't have predicted it. It just happened right in front of you. And it immediately made the Outlaws one of the most hated teams in WWE. Another classic example came during the Monday Night Wars, when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were part of the NWO in WCW. For those who don't know, this was the original NWO, Hollywood. So there were two separate factions, but eventually they did end up combining. However, at the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view in 1996, before that happened, Scott Hall would turn on Kevin Nash. And again, this was pretty shocking because at this point, they were portrayed as a pretty tight-knit group. Hall and Nash were friends. They traveled together. They hung out together. And the idea that one of them would turn on the other was pretty crazy. And it was one of the biggest moments in WCW's history. And again, it created an instant personal rivalry between two top stars. And that led to a huge match at the following month's Fall Brawl. And speaking of Fall Brawl, another great example of this happened at that same page. Sting was defending the WCW World Heavyweight Championship against his nemesis, Ric Flair, in a no disqualification match. And during the bouts, Sting ended up getting the upper hand. He was about to make the pin, but suddenly Hulk Hogan's music hit. Hulk Hogan came running down to the ring, chased Sting away, and then helped Ric Flair pick up the win. And this was a massive moment because it instantly made Flair the #1 contender to Sting's title, leading to a rematch at Halloween Havoc. As you can tell, this is a story that has been told countless times over the decades. It's a story that's easy to tell, it's easy to understand, it's easy to follow along with, and it's a great way to get a fun invested in the product. Because if you're watching and you see somebody turn on somebody else, you want to see what happens next. What does this mean for the person who was betrayed? How do they respond? And the fact that it is so easy to understand makes it easy for new fans to buy into. However, if you've been a fan for a long time, you've seen it 100 times. You've seen it with the Shield. You've seen it with the Dudley. You've seen it with the Legion of Doom. You've seen it with the Outlaws and the Upper. You've seen it with Hogan and Andre twice. You've seen it with Sting and Hogan. You've seen it with Nash and Hall. You've seen it so many times that it's almost become a little stale. In fact, I would argue that one of the reasons why the Shield breaking up and Roman turning on Dean and Seth hurt so much is because we hadn't seen it in years. It had been so long since a main event level star had betrayed someone in such a shocking fashion that when it happened, it was bound to be special. So, which version is your favorite? Do you like it when it's a partner turning on a partner? Do you like it when it's a friend turning on a friend? Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're already subscribed, well then check out these other videos. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.
Okay guys, thank you for watching my videos.